Alright, let's go ahead and begin our next review. Oh, who's calling me? Shit. Hello?
Who is this?
This is ThatGuyMatt. Who is this?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, well, I mean, if we're talking old school, then it's John Carpenter's The Thing. If we're talking about modern horror, then I would have to go with...
Who's your favorite content creator that starts with a C?
Huh? Wait, why?
I'm inquisitive.
Well, if you must know, it's Cody Leach.
Fuck.
Wait, Chris, is that you?
Yeah.
Dude, why are you calling me? I'm trying to do my review of Black Christmas.
Oh, really? I love that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it a lot.
I mean, I did have plans on covering it myself, but... I mean, now that I think about it, it would be a shame to talk about it alone.
I mean, did you want to join me?
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Yes, let's get into the review, shall we?
Black Christmas is a 1974 horror film directed by Bob Clark. It tells a story about a group of sorority sisters who begin to receive anonymous phone calls that turn into threats. As members go missing and bodies are found out in public, the group suspect that a serial killer is on the loose, and he may be closer than they realize.
Hello? Look, who is this?
Black Christmas is often cited as one of the best slashers of the 70s, and for good reason. Despite its age, it was innovative for its time and continues to be brought up in conversation as one of the best slashers of all time. I admit when I first watched the film, I didn't make it all the way through because I was a little bored by it. Eventually, I gave the film a second chance, and I'm glad I did, because as of right now, Black Christmas has become one of my favorite slasher films. Now, of course, slashers have been around for decades upon decades, and it's not exactly something new, but what I love about Black Christmas especially is the atmosphere it creates. The colors and cheerful nature contrast heavily with the looming presence of something sinister. Whether it's an evil Santa Claus or a killer snowman, if it's done well, it can make for a great horror film. It's one of the reasons why Halloween is so beloved. During all of the trick-or-treating, jokes, and pumpkin carving, there is in fact an evil presence that's out there waiting to strike. Unlike Halloween, however, we don't actually get to see the killer that often. Well, at least not in the traditional sense. Much like the Babadook, you only see Billy in very small portions as he's always hidden in the shadows. You hear his voice more than anything, and to some that might be disappointing, but for me anyway, that's actually what I love about Billy as a killer. Sure, fans of Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street are primarily watching for the killers. They're iconic and the main appeal of their respective franchises. But Black Christmas takes a much more grounded approach. Billy, or as sometimes he's referred to as the Moaner, is pretty much all the information we're given as an audience. We don't know his last name, what he looks like, what his background is, or even what his intentions are. The fact that we know very little about him is what makes him so unpredictable, and makes him just as scary and memorable as some of his contemporaries. Not to get too off topic, but he sort of reminds me of the shark from Jaws. For a majority of the film, we don't actually get to see the shark, which allows you as an audience member to interpret the horrors you see on screen. The same can be said for Billy as a killer. Even though he's psychotic, he's as methodical as he is unpredictable. And while he may not be on the same level as a killer like Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees, he'll stick with you long after the film is over.
The film is not that gory. You do get to see sliced throats and a few stabbings, but that's not what the film is about. It is about creating atmosphere. And that is what this film does the best, especially when Billy makes his phone calls. I personally believe that John Carpenter and Wes Craven had to be somewhat inspired by Black Christmas. John Carpenter utilized POV heavily throughout Halloween, and the phone calls play such a pivotal role in the Scream franchise.
As for the rest of the film, it's pretty great overall. Olivia Hussey plays the main protagonist, Jess, and she's great in the role. We also have John Saxon, who plays Lieutenant Fuller, whom you may recognize as Nancy Thompson's father from A Nightmare on Elm Street. The rest of the cast, even though we don't get to know them very well, are also pretty good, especially the sorority sisters. Even someone like Barb, who comes off as bitchy, never manages to reach the level of intolerable for me. I especially love the sorority mother, Mrs. Mack. I think she is a great addition to this movie. We don't get too much of her in the film, but man, she makes an impact. She's given a gift by the members, to which she openly criticizes. She keeps a whiskey bottle in the toilet and drinks from it when she's alone. And of course, the moment where she's swearing and trying to hide vulgar imagery from one of the members' fathers is just hilarious. So with all that said, what do I think about Black Christmas? Well, hopefully my review actually did a good job at explaining it, but I think this movie is an absolute classic, and it's now one of my favorite horror movies ever made. It has everything I love to see in a slasher: likable characters, an eerie and creepy villain, a creative setting, a good score, and a palpable atmosphere that legitimately got under my skin at times. While the film has aged in some aspects and could be seen as boring by modern horror audiences, I still think it's great. Honestly, my biggest complaint was not seeing it sooner, but I'm very happy to say that it will now be part of my regular rotation of Christmas movies. Not to mention, I truly mean this when I say that this actually has become like one of my favorite slasher films ever made. As controversial of a take this might be, I would actually put it on the same level as John Carpenter's Halloween. I really do think it's that effective. Of course, you're allowed to disagree with me in the comments, but feel free to let me know what you think about the movie down below.
Not only is Black Christmas a personal favorite of mine during the holidays, it is just a personal favorite horror film of mine in general. And if you've not watched this movie, I highly recommend you check it out. And I just have to say a quick thank you to Matt for including me in this review.
Guys, thank you so much for watching my review of Black Christmas, and a huge shout out to my buddy Chris Brock on YouTube for actually doing this collab with me. I really appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much. What do you guys think about Black Christmas? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you like the remakes more? I'd like to know your thoughts down below. With all that said, guys, I want to wish you all a very happy holidays. Thank you for continuing to watch my movie marathon, and until next time, guys, this has been That Guy Matt, and I will see you guys all next time. Take care.